Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to continue to take a look at the scenario of the alternate future of the world. Okay, so I have already recorded the episode, but the audio didn't work for some reason. So yeah, like all of the events have already happened, but you can't hear anything about it. So yeah, we'll have to make a recap of it. Well, there's not much that happened in it. It was a 70 minutes long video. But anyways, yeah. I would like to thank some people first. Grazie Elia per tutte le idee che hai provato a darmi. Alcune le ho implementate, ma che arriva. Ah, mo alla parte ti spiego. And yeah, also thank you guys. And we're so close to 50 subscribers. Yup, 50, 50. And yeah, it's we're actually getting there. One sub. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm going to make a special for it when I hit the goal. But anyways, let's get into it. Okay, so this is the episode where that very important virus from China goes on, and yeah, I think you guys know what I'm talking about. It's 2020, and yeah, this crisis leads to a lot of stuff happen. Borders close, the Cold War ends, Trump wins the elections because America strongman. With the Cold War doesn't exactly end, but it's put on a halt. Like it stops. Yeah, it started by an episode that it's already stopping. And yeah, we're totally going to. It that Kaliningrad tried to revolt and form its own country because they were isolated. But then NATO gives military access to Russia, and yeah, there's no hope, and the revolt gets crushed. Then we're also going to see 2020 that the civil war gets into a ceasefire. These weren't actually the official borders. These aren't like, yeah, I'm going to explain later. But then all the conflict in the war end, except going to see this revolt from DRC, and the DRC isn't going to put it down. And yeah, because of this crisis, the revolt is phrased. So there's like a civil war, but not a civil war. It's a pretty hard thing to say. And also it happened because Russia didn't want the DRC to be far away from the CSTO. And so they supported the rebellion, which was also going to revolt even without Russia help. And yeah, this is what happened. Also, we're going to see that CSTO and NATO are going to cooperate together to stop the crisis. Yeah, and yeah, this is what will happen. We also see that 2020, we're going to see actually Serbia trying to revolt because they weren't accepted. CSTO, they were pretty isolated. But then NATO cracks down the revolts. And yeah, this is basically what happens in 2020. And it's not that much. And they've only made 4 minutes of this. Yeah, also, the virus was pretty important. It is everywhere. Australia and New Zealand tried to help the Pacific Islands. The Pacific Trade Organization was actually in a pretty bad spot, not gonna lie. But they still survived this. And yeah, after that, we see the start of 2021. Now we're going to take a look at the alliance layer because in December 2019, Brazil asked for NATO membership. They were just about to enter, but then the crisis happened, and now they got accepted. But other than that, no new members. The same thing happens with Serbia, which requested in 2020. They couldn't join. This is basically motivation of the revolt because they were isolated. And yeah, Kosovo got help. They survived. And at this point, no, I'm not going to do that yet. But yeah, we see that this is what is happening. And yeah, Africa, we didn't talk about your continent that much, but they got the crisis too. They somehow survived global warming and all of that stuff. And now we're going to totally say that we saw this revolt in Myanmar. And now you know what, guys. I arrived in 2022. But since all of the recording cut, and there's still 5 minutes of video, which is just a recap, I'm going to do other events. I'm going to talk about 2022 too. And yeah, let's talk about this year. In this year, the tensions aren't as much high, and yeah, it's just a chill thing until we see a coup in Georgia. Yep, a coup. I think they were already a Russian aligned government. Um, yeah, I forgot to add them to the CSTO. Well, they're in. And with this, we see Azerbaijan applying for NATO membership, but they get rejected because that will be a Middle Eastern escalation. Yeah, they want to do their best to protect global peace. Do actually say that the conflict that happens in 2022 is not a Russian invasion of Ukraine, because that already happened, but it's going to be the Israel Palestine war. And yeah, none of the great powers is actually helping. None of the rebels. Like, they're fighting alone. It's a 1v1 because they don't. And they intimate both of the countries to stop. Like, Russia tells Palestine to peace out, and the same thing the US with Israel. But Israel isn't learning, and they're still taking things and door. But with both the countries isolated, there's basically no winner. Like, because Israel, without the support of the Western countries, isn't that strong, and Palestine still isn't strong alone to defeat Israel. And yeah, it's a stalemate and nothing happens. And in the end, they make a ceasefire and some land gets ceded to Israel, maybe in exchange of territories, but that's it. Oh, actually, Greenland. Oh yeah, Greenland. Well, it's going to happen now. The Greenland Purchase. The United States are going to give a lot of money to Denmark, like a lot of money, to make Lego, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, going to give them lots of money, and Greenland is going to become a US state. Not Canada though, they're fine. Well, this is not seen as a good thing that much. Like, the Danish people see it as a kind of betrayal. They do not like that US now have a foothold in Europe. And yeah, this kind is not a good move. And then they also make memes about Denmark trying to buy California. They actually try to. They actually try to make an exchange. Greenland to the USA, California to Denmark. But in the end, not when the at the end nothing happens, sadly. The Danish say that we're going to try again one day. Yeah, and I think that might be it for today. We have arrived of June of 2022, and yeah, a lot of things happen. And in the next episode, it's going to be way longer and it's going to be way more interesting. And yeah, see you guys.